Old Trumpy Bear is at it again, talking tariffs today. And, of course, Mexico and Canada caved. But there is some people on the lovely X platform that are saying that Trump caved. So let's talk a little bit about that. So to start us off, we have end wokeness here. There's been a lot of things that have happened within Trump's first couple weeks here in the Oval Office. Again, he definitely was much more prepared for this time around than he was previously for his first time around. But let's talk about some things. So Trump was going to put in tariffs on both Mexico and Canada to try to enforce them to start protecting their borders better when it comes to the trafficking of certain types of drugs. And everybody, the media was just complaining and complaining. Oh, it's not gonna work, not gonna work. It's gonna make prices higher. It's not gonna make the price of eggs going down. Oh, you hear everything. Just watch CNN for 30 seconds and you kind of know the gist of their entire show. But we need to talk about what's actually been happening, because right now there has been a pause put on both Mexico and Canada's tariffs because both of them have agreed to send troops to the border to ensure that there is no illegal crossing. Though, which surprises me why they weren't doing that before. I mean, I can kind of understand with Canada not doing it because we do have the largest unprotected border between two countries. But the thing is when, especially with Mexico knows there's hundreds, if not thousands, of people trying to cross the border every day into the U.S. Why are they not, one, trying to help their people? That'd be the good first thing. And two, they need to ensure that their border is secure as well. And why are we spending all the money to ensure that their people stay in their within their border? And the biggest thing for me is not even so much the people, unless they have very violent offenses or anything like that, but it's more the things that come over with that. The smugglers that get paid to bring people over, and a lot of people don't make it along the way. That's the sad part. And there's just so many things. The drugs that make it over. I mean, you name it. We need to stop the flow of this when it comes over the border. And it's not just the land border itself, too. It's the water around both Mexico and the U.S., or the Gulf of, I guess it's called America now, for some reason. Haven't quite figured that one out yet, but, we'll let it go. But there's tons of drugs that come through those areas too via boat. So we need to ensure that we protect them, and the Mexican government needs to ensure that they protect them as well. And I mean, let's work together. We have a common goal here, so why don't we just work together on solving this? But anyway, so yes, Trump was going to impose tariffs, and now they're paused in order to see what will happen with the border on both sides, which I think is a good thing. There's some people even on here that are trying to state, oh, Trump caved, or proof that Trump caved. And you can see by this article here, it's from 2021, and it talks about Mexico will maintain a deployment of about 10,000 troops, and talking about between Mexico and Guatemala and Honduras. But again, if you just keep reading, well, Guatemala has surged 1,500 police and military personnel to its southern border, and Honduras deployed 7,000 police and military to its border. There is nothing in this article that is speaking about the border between Mexico and the United States. It is strictly just talking about what else borders the Mexican continent. Not really a continent, North American continent, but you know what I mean. So right there, it's just a flawed example, and I think it's really trying to get clicks to be honest with you, on here, because even if I open this up and go in and actually read the articles or read what people have put in the comment section, this guy. How do you not notice that the deployment of those troops was to monitor the border between Mexico and Guatemala? The first one. So I think it's just kind of baiting, trying to get people angry, because that's what people like to do on the internet for some reason now. But, what can you do? But a couple of good things is Mexico did arrest a top leader of one of the cartels there. So can't complain on that. Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see what happens with the tariffs. Oh, we got good old Chuck Schumer here talking about his Corona getting more expensive. And wait, it gets better. He's got another prop. He's got an avocado, because that would also, quote unquote, be get more expensive due to the tariffs. That was his two examples when talking about tariffs against Mexico, which to me they're not great examples, but I mean, you kind of already pay a lot for Corona anyway, and I mean, who eats an avocado? But anyway, you can cut, it's just things like that. It's pandering is really all it is, and I don't understand how people can still get away with it. Just speak the truth, and I mean, if it's really the truth that you think is the truth, speak it. It doesn't need to be one-sided or the other. It doesn't need to be left or right. Just speak what your truth is. And here's talking about Mexico sending the 10,000 troops to try to stop the flow of fentanyl into the U.S. I think that's great. We have a common goal here. Let's stop the bad people from trying to bring illegal substances over to our border. And then, of course, we've got old Trumpy here doing his little dance. But it's not the only two items that he's kind of, quote-unquote, won in his 2 weeks in office so far. We're also now able to send military ships, naval ships, through the Panama Canal without paying. Which, really, when you think about that, we built the damn thing, so why are we paying to go through it? I mean, ownership can stay with Panama. It's their land. I'm fine with that. That is no issues there. But it's like, if we help build it, why are we paying to go through it? It doesn't make a lot of sense when it comes to that, at least the government-wise. I mean, civilians and other things like that, commercial shipping, they can pay. I mean, you got to keep up on the canal somehow. But as a government as a whole, why are we paying for that? And I just don't understand. So that is another win that I am putting in Trump's list, because it is definitely something that should have happened arguably a long time ago. We're trying to save, or we need to start saving money as America and quit spending it. So it's kind of one of those things. Oh, and here's actually him talking about the Panama Canal.
What are specifically you want? That have to balance out their trade, number one. That we've got to stop people from pouring into our country, and we've stopped it. They haven't stopped it. We've stopped it. We have to stop people from pouring in, and we have to stop fentanyl, and that includes China. Fentanyl has killed, this year, at least 200,000 people. It's pouring in from China through Mexico and Canada, and they've got to stop it. And if they don't stop it, the tariffs are going to get worse, a lot worse.
Mr. President, now going to the border.
See, again, Trump is trying to use his tariff power to make, or at least force the company, or not the companies, let's try that again, to force the countries to take responsibility for what is being either transported or created within their land. And I'd say it's about damn time we started doing that. Now, of course, the U.S. is not perfect, and we've got our own situations here, but if we can start cutting off some of the flow of those products, it's going to be a win-win for everybody. Like I said, let's all work together. Let's make sure we get through this together. And I think that's something that we've forgotten about lately, is that we just don't do it together anymore. It's either one side or the other. But let me know what you think of Trump's tariffs in the comments. Do you think it's going to make things worse? Do you think we'll end up having a tariff war? I'm interested to see what's going to happen. But let me know down in the comments. And, of course, if you like this video, subscribe.